Hey guys, today I'm going to be showing you how you can capture your own guitar pedals using GuitarML software and play it back in the SmartPedal in real time. Now today we're going to be capturing the full tone FatBoost. It's a boost pedal. It has some drive to it. It'll add some distortion. It has a bass and treble. I'm going to keep those centered and put up the drive so that you get some crunch in the final tone. Now, what do I mean when I'm talking about a capture of an amp or a pedal? Well, this is very similar to the concept of a Kemper profile or a quad cortex neural capture, except this is all open source and free software, so enjoy. All right, so this is the SmartPedal plugin. It's very simple. You choose a directory to load your trained models from, and it will read through the list and put everything that you can load in this drop-down menu that you can select, and then adjust the drive, which is the input level into the neural model and the output level from the neural model. So the first thing we're going to do to train a model is close this because we don't need it right now. You don't actually use the plugin to create the captures. So the first thing we're going to do is go to GuitarML.com, which is my website. And I just updated it so that there are some helper scripts, and we're going to be using those to train our model. Now, go to the main page and scroll down to the SmartPedal section, and then click this capture utility, which will download a .zip file of everything you'll need to train a model. All right, so I'm just going to unzip that. Now in this you have a WAV file, which is going to be your input, and a Colab script, which Google Colab is a website by Google, which you can go to and run code. You can do machine learning tasks, but you don't have to worry about any of that because all you have to do is load this script and run each of the steps, and you'll be able to follow this. So the first thing I'm going to do is take this WAV file, and I'll load it into a session in my DAW, which I'm using Reaper. So I'll put it here in track 1. It's about 3 minutes long, and that's going to be our input that we're going to play out of our audio device and pass that through the pedal and then record the output from the pedal. So basically, to do these captures, you have the input file and then you have the output recording, which the model then learns how your device is changing the sound, and then you can use that to play it in the SmartPedal plugin. So here's my setup. I have a Focusrite Scarlett audio interface connected to my laptop. I have the output of my audio interface going to the input of the FatBoost pedal. I have the output of the pedal going back into channel 1 of the Focusrite. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to play my audio file that we just downloaded through this on track 1, and then I'm going to record the output over here on track 2, which is recording channel 1. And I'm going to make sure and mute this channel so we don't get a feedback loop. And then I'm going to run the recording through this. And the settings are higher drive, medium bass and treble, and medium volume. Now I want to make sure and make sure this level out is high enough so that it drives this pedal so we get that nice distorted tone out of this pedal. Alright, so I have my track recording enabled, and what I'm going to do is I'm just going to play this, and wow, it's way too loud, so I'm going to turn down, here's the problem, I'm going to turn down the input level until we get that below the red. That's better. And I'm going to raise this output level until it gets closer to clipping. Alright, now it's really important that the track that's playing the audio is unmuted so that it's played out of your audio interface, and it's very important that you mute the track that's being recorded, otherwise you'll get a big feedback loop. Alright, I think I'm ready to start recording. Got the pedal set up, got the levels set how I want them, and the other important thing is that this recording absolutely has to start at the very beginning. Otherwise it will get off sync during the training process. Now you can let this recording run out past the length of this file, that's fine. The software is set up so that it will trim to the smallest, to that input file length. So I'm just going to hit record, and you can see that signal. It is being recorded from the FatBoost pedal from our input capture wave file, and this will take 3 minutes to record. Another thing you might want to do before you start recording is just record 10 seconds or so of it, and then unplug your device, plug in some headphones, and listen to what it sounds like, and make sure that that is the sound that you want to try and capture. Alright, we're finishing up the recording here, and you can see from this how dense this signal is, that it's doing much more than just boosting. This pedal can actually run quite a bit of distortion through your signal, so I think it's going to sound really nice. Alright, and we're at the end. I'm going to stop that, and I'll switch back to the computer view. Alright, recording that was probably the hardest part, so I'll show you how to do the rest of it. So we'll save this wave file, and now we want to export just the audio that we recorded. So I'm going to mute that, turn off the recording, unmute this track that we just recorded, and in Reaper you can go to render, and we're going to render this out. Now this is going to be different from the GuitarML stuff I've done in the past. This time we're going to use 16-bit PCM because I rewrote some of the code to account for that, and those files are a lot smaller than the floating point 32 by about half. So we're going to use that. It doesn't hurt the quality of the model at all. Mono, 16-bit PCM, uncheck any extra metadata, no tail, no tempo data, and if you mute this first track, then you'll just export the entire project, and it'll just pick up that second track. So I'm going to put that on the desktop and name this FatBoost. And we will render that out. All right. now you can close your DAW session. From here, we're going to take it onto a website called Google Colab. All right, so from here, we're going to go to Google Colab. Why not let Google do the heavy lifting for us? Come on. So this way, we don't have to install any dependencies. You don't have to write a single line of code. I'm really helping you out. Now, you got to look at some code, but you don't have to write any, and that's pretty good. Let's see. Okay, so actually, I'm going to do this from the search so you guys can see what it is. Just type in Colab into a search engine. Google Colab is the website, colab.research.google.com. And it will probably bring up this splash screen. You're going to go to Upload, and then you're going to go into your SmartPedal Capture Utility zip file that we unzipped earlier, and select this SmartPedal Capture. The extension is IPYNB, which is the format that Colab uses. So we're going to open that. All right, so this is the Colab website with our SmartPedal Capture script loaded. The first thing you want to do is click this little file folder icon on the left and expand it out so that you can see it's a file browser. So what you're doing is connecting to a remote server. You're on a remote computer that Google owns that will be doing all the heavy lifting for us. So I tried to lay out everything that you have to do in detail here in the top. Let's just go through them. Step 1, click Runtime, and you're going to want to go to Change Runtime Type to GPU. It's probably going to be on None by default. You want to change that to GPU so that it utilizes the higher processing power of the graphics processing unit. Save. Right. So one thing about Google Colab, it's great, it's free, but the free version has limits. So when you hit those limits, then you can't use it for about a day or so. So on this profile, I hit my limits. Okay, so now I've switched to my other Google profile, which does have GPU time left on it. Like I said, it resets in about a day, and you get another, I don't know exactly how it measures it, but it seems to be about 10 hours of time for the free version. Now you can pay $10 or so a month, I think, to get more access. But anyway, so I'm going to select my GPU. Each time you load this, you need to go through these steps. So I'm switching to GPU runtime, which means it'll run faster. Without it, it's going to take quite a bit longer to do this process. All right, so step 2, upload my recorded audio file, which is our FatBoost.wave. And I'm just going to drag and drop that into the left-hand panel. And it's just reminding us that that's going to get removed when when we leave this session. So it'll take a second to load that. Make sure it loads completely before you move on. Down here. And it should be about 16 megabytes. Okay. Oh yeah, this is very important. I might change this in the future, but for now you have to rename your WAV file to out.wave. So that's just so that the code I've written knows what to get, how to get to it. All right, so now from here on out, we're just going to press some buttons, and it's going to be super fun and super easy. So step 3, run the setup environment section by clicking the run arrow. Now in Colab you have blocks of code, which you just click this play icon to run it. So this will take a few minutes. What it's doing is it's going and getting all of the code packages that we need to run our machine learning code and capture our pedal based on our audio recording. So earlier I said you needed an input audio file and an output audio file. We only need to upload our output audio file because the input audio file is that pre-recorded bit, and it's already in the code that's being downloaded right here. And by the way, this isn't being downloaded to your machine. This is on Google's server somewhere in the world. So you don't need to worry about this installing any garbage on your computer. All right, that first step finished. It took about 3 minutes. So now the fun part. Now we're going to actually use machine learning to create our capture of the FatBoost pedal. So you are going to choose one of these 3 steps based on the type of device you're capturing. We are doing what I would consider a boost or distortion style pedal. So I'm going to run step 4C. If we were capturing an amp, a clean amp or compressor, we would run step 4A. And if we were capturing an amplifier in overdrive or high gain, we would run step B. But we are doing a pedal, a distortion type pedal. So I'm going to run this. All right, and it is going to spit out a lot of information. What it's doing is, if you're into this stuff, is it tells you the type of network, how big it is. It has 5,000 different parameters. And then it's going through the training process. So what you want to see is that this loss number, as it goes down, you want to see it get lower, which it seems to be grabbing onto something, so that's good. Now this is going to take about 12 to 15 minutes, so go grab a beer, do something. Do make sure that maybe wiggle the mouse every once in a while. Sometimes Colab will have a pop-up and say, hey, are you still there? Is this a human running this? And you have to click something to let it keep going. But it probably won't do that unless you have it sitting here for a while. All right, the training process is done. It took about 15 minutes. So we're going to go to the next step, and this will generate our model that we can load into SmartPedal. Right now it's in a format that's not compatible with it, so you click this and it'll just take a second, and it's done, and the model will show up in this left hand menu. You probably need to refresh it by clicking this refresh, and there it is. It'll be named New SmartPedal Model, and you can rename that to whatever you want and load that into the SmartPedal plugin. Step 6 is optional. It will generate a graph that visually shows you how close the training got to the target signal and sound of your device, in this case the FatBoost pedal. And this plot will also show up in this left-hand file browser menu. So that just finished. I'm going to refresh, and there it is. It's this detail signal comparison. Double-click that, and it'll show this, which is some fancy graphs. Thank you. The first one is your input signal. So it's that pre-recorded. It's just a very small section. I think it's about 10 milliseconds of the pre-recorded audio signal. The middle one is what you're really interested in. So the red line is directly from the actual pedal, and the green line is what our model was able to predict. So as you can see, there are some slight differences, but overall it got fairly close to it, and I think it's going to sound pretty good. Alright, now the last thing to do is just download your model, which you can right-click on your new SmartPedal model file, click download, and that will download it. It's not very big. It will be 117 kilobytes, thereabouts. Now, I wouldn't close this Colab script quite yet, because if you listen to your model and you find that it's not quite as close as you wanted, you can choose to refine this model by training it further. And the way you do that is you come to the same step, step 4 that you ran. Make sure it is the exact same one, not one of the other two. And you're going to go to this max epochs field and increase that by however many epochs you want to keep training it by. So I would start with training it at 100 more epochs at a time. So right now it's set at 1300. The reason it's at 1300 is because, I won't go into that. It's at 1300. Increase it to 1400. And then you hit train, or you hit the play button, and it will train that same model further for 100 more epochs. Alright, our refining finished, and I think it actually did help the model a bit. The loss value did get lower. So we're going to rerun step 5 and also rerun step 6 and see what the plot looks like. And I'm going to go ahead, step 5 finished, so I'm going to go ahead and re-download this, and that will be our SmartPedal compatible model. And check out this plot. Fun, math, science, yay. Alright, now for the moment of truth. How close does the model sound to the real thing? I'm playing my Fender Telecaster, and this is what it sounds like clean. This is the actual pedal. Okay, I'm switching to the plugin. And back to the pedal. Back to the plugin. Back to the pedal. Back to the plugin. Alright, that was straight through the pedal and the plugin. Now we're going to add an impulse response and reverb and compare how that sounds. So this is with the actual pedal. And with the plugin. And back to the pedal. And back to the plugin. All right, I'd love to know what you guys think. Does it sound close or not? Maybe next time I'll try it on an amplifier. Thanks for watching.